how pain is made inside the body, because if you learn how it's made, you can learn how to defend against it or get the body to produce less. Your body is nothing but a big chemistry set. And if you change the components of that chemistry set, you can change the outcomes that happen. And pain is an outcome that comes from your chemistry set. So I'm gonna walk you through the steps of how pain is made so you can visualize it. Now understand, the body makes pain a couple different ways, but this is one of the main pain pathways that affects almost everyone. So if we can learn how it's made, we can learn how to naturally block it or reduce it. And that's what we're gonna go through in this video. So I want you to take a short journey with me as I break down the production of pain. Every day your body's under assault. It's under assault from chemicals in the environment, processed foods, stress, different things going on. Could be medications, could be a lot of things, right? You're drinking water, who knows what. Physical stress, all kinds of things. And in order to know how to respond to that, your body has a cellular communication. All cells communicate with one another. Those cells tell other cells what's going on and what it wants to do next. That creates other enzymes. It creates changes from the DNA and what to do. And so that intercommunication of cellular behavior is what we need to understand pain. So once these inflammatory things happen to the body, okay, or what's going on outside the body, has to be told to every cell. The messenger of telling what's going on outside the body to every little cell in your body, these messengers are called cytokines. We'll call it an inflammatory trigger or a pro-inflammatory trigger, okay? It comes and delivers a message to the DNA. Well, the cell at first. What are sources of cytokines? Well, smoking, alcohol, chemicals, toxins, stress. This could be physical stress. This could be emotional stress. Overactive immune system, when the body's producing way too many white blood cells, like when you get sick or maybe your immune system's overreacting or over-responding to something. Food molecules. Your body, based on how its immune system's operating, can see certain food molecules as enemies, therefore turning up its activity, creating more cytokines. So this is just a quick list of them. There are plenty more. So this is happening all the time inside the body, okay? So the cytokines are delivering a message to the cell, okay? Think of it like FedEx in the body, right? Well, cytokines, let's just say, they can't speak to the DNA. They speak Spanish, DNA speaks English. So it needs a translator. So once this cytokine attaches to the cell wall, other messengers are going to read that message and then deliver it to the DNA. These messengers are called kinases, okay? This kinase then delivers the message to the DNA. Now the DNA is going to read it and then respond to it. How your body responds to different sources of cytokine behavior is in your genetic code. Those messengers then that the DNA sends out as a reply are things like TNF alpha and NF kappa B. And if you guys may have heard of these are pro-inflammatory kinases. They trigger other inflammatory events inside the body. We need inflammation to regenerate, but we don't need a lot, and that's the problem. Our diet and our lifestyle can overwhelm the body with too many of these signals. As these signals leave the body, they attach again to the inside of the cell wall. Okay. This then creates new cytokines that produce something called COX-2. COX-2 then leaves and floats out into the body. Again, remember, your body is a chemistry soup. Things are floating around in there waiting to be activated, waiting to be used. All these circles here, some are marked with an X and some are not. These are called acids floating in the body, okay? These acids are highly dictated by what you eat, and we'll get into that in a minute. So these acids are floating around in the body and attach to COX-2. There are two primary acids that we're going to discuss. They break down into way more, but arachidonic acid and oleanolic acid. These two acids are really important, and I'm going to explain why. Arachidonic acid is pro-inflammatory. So if COX-2 combines with arachidonic acid, you get pain, stiffness, poor recovery, right? Feeling heavy maybe might be another way that you might experience this combination, all right? These acids are dictated by what you eat. Yes, I said it, by what you eat. Therefore, we want less arachidonic acid in the body. Well, how would we do that? What are sources of arachidonic acid? Arachidonic acid comes from omega-6, okay? Omega-6 is not totally bad. We need some, okay? So don't go, that's the problem with diets today. They get on the no omega-6 train, so they'll tell you certain foods are bad because they contain omega-6. No, no, no. You need omega-6 to run in your body, so you need some. You just need them in the appropriate ratio. But when you're trying to lower your ratio for a while, you should eliminate foods that are very, very high in omega-6, maybe for 6 months, 3 months maybe, depending on the state of inflammation. What are sources of omega-6? Okay? Processed foods. So your cereals, grain-based processed foods, grains themselves contain a lot of omega-6. Nut butters, soy oils, corn oil. These things are in high abundance in there, okay? So we want to try for at least a little while to avoid some of these, lower them. Thereby, if we lower them, we increase foods that have the other acid, oleanolic. Now, why would we want to do that? Well, the reason we want to do that is oleanolic acid, if you swap out arachidonic and you swap in oleanolic acid, you make something called PGE3. PGE3. Arachidonic acid produces something called PGE2. 2 makes pain. 3 is less inflammatory, and you don't really feel it as much. So if I can get a lot of oleanolic acid to combine with this COX-2, now I'm making way less pain in the body. So the problem is the American diet is at a 20-to-1 ratio favoring arachidonic acid. So all these acids are almost all arachidonic acid, leaving maybe a little oleanolic acid. We got to change that. That is a dietary issue. So that's why Mediterranean dieting, that's why pescatarian dieting, that's why keto is really good for these things, okay? But you don't have to do them for life, and these foods are not bad forever, but we want to, for a while, if you want to get pain and stiffness down, you just kind of pull them out for a little while. This is not saying no carbs. That's where it goes. So people in this camp trying to lower arachidonic acid said, oh, get rid of grains. Grains are bad. Well, grains are carbs, so get rid of carbs. No, no, no. That's not the same conversation. Carbs are good, okay? So if you now eat a lot of fish, right, vegetables, you take fish oil. So I recommend somebody take 2 to 3 grams of EPA DHA, okay? That's going to contain a lot of oleanolic acid, all right? I recommend, the problem is to change this, okay? People take some anti-inflammatories, or they'll take a little bit of dieting for a week, and they go, I don't feel any better. No, 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 no. To switch a 20-to-1 ratio takes at least 3 months. That's why no one makes it. If you had done this for 9 to 12 weeks, you'd feel amazing, but you didn't. You quit at week 2, so you say none of this stuff works. It has to filter out of the body. You've got to lower your cytokines. Lower all of these things, all right? Then you got to cut these foods. Then intro in Mediterranean foods, healthy oils, fish, right? Vegetables, fruits, things like that, right? Over time. EPA DHA therapy, okay? There's also a product called, there's a product that contains isoalpha acids that lower NF-kappa B. It's called Caprex. You can look up Caprex on YouTube. They did studies on animals. It's absolutely amazing. You can look up Bailey and Caprex. But you can switch this around in about 3 months to change the ratio of arachidonic to oleanolic acid to 1-to-1. Once you've done that, you are on your way to a pain-free lifestyle. I hope you enjoyed.